So what is strumming? Well, it's going up and down with your hand, and then you play chords down here, and then it sounds great. All right, that was basically the explanation I got. And I started with a strumming pattern that sounded something like this. Right? And then I started to get that under control, and that was, that was basically all I got. And then there was other patterns, but pretty soon it just became something you do down here until you really break it down. Because strumming is, you can decipher it down to its smallest components, really, and it's super simple. And it becomes rather complex once you pile up different little techniques and stuff you can do with your left hand and different ways of strumming, and you do your... Right? You have different little details that you then add to the system that makes it come alive. But the basic, most fundamental way of strumming, or the system itself, is easily explained. So for the rest of your life, you can basically decipher and play any strumming pattern because you know the basic ingredients that goes into any strumming pattern. So that delivers some clarity for you, and you can design your own exercises for strumming. So let's get started. First of all, I just want to say one thing. This is my favorite pick. It's a big stubby Dunlop. And it's extremely inflexible. It's very hard, and it has a very sharp tip. What happens when I'm doing acoustic strumming, because of course you can strum on an electric guitar as well, but when I play on an acoustic, what I do is I ease up the pressure I have on the pick just a little bit, so it slips or flicks just across the strings like that. And that makes it kind of, I can then strum with it. But basically, what we also have are picks like this. This is a disaster for alternate picking because it's flexible. It bends a little bit. It's quite stiff. It's one of the more, stiffer kinds, right, for this purpose. But it bends. It's flexible. And that means that I can just hold it firmly like this. I don't have to ease up the pressure so I can make it do that, because it does that by itself, even though I'm holding that in. And it gives me a different sound. Listen to this. Now this, if I just hold it tightly, I get very, and if I then ease up the pressure, which also makes me drop it sometimes, because if I'm not holding it firmly, then of course the risk of me dropping it on the floor is increased, right? So so that's the sound of that. If I just hold this firmly, it gives me some clarity when I'm using a thinner pick that is slightly flexible. If they become very flexible and very soft, then you lose sound. It becomes more and more like using your finger, right? The thinner it becomes. So choose wisely. Not too stiff, and not. What is this like? It's hard to describe. It's got some sturdiness to it, and it's not soft, but it moves when I'm pushing it down, right? Okay, so I'm just going to use that. For this purpose. I would never use this to do alternate picking though, because it moves, and that's not a very good idea when you use that kind of precision work. But for strumming, it's perfect. So what is strumming? Well, level number 1 is simply, and see if you can follow me. Don't go, oh, simple, Claus, I already know how to do that. Test yourself on these levels that we're going to go through. Level number 1 is doing a downstroke. So just do a G major, and I'm doing the G major with my 3rd and my 4th finger on the B and E string. So I have these two. You can also just do it with your 3rd finger in the 3rd fret on the high E string and let the B string be open. But I like this better, right? So that's the chord I'm going to use, and then we're going to focus over here because that's where strumming happens. And what I do is I do a downstroke, right, with my foot, because that's basically what that is. The first challenge is involving your foot, because that's what rhythm is. If I play this, that's not a rhythm. It's just strokes, right? But as soon as there's another beat going on, and then there's something that noise can relate to. And it is in that relationship that rhythm occurs, right? I can do this. It doesn't sound like rhythm, but the second I go, right, then we have rhythm, because we got that kind of, context to what I'm doing here. And what I'm doing here is subdivision. So basically the first exercise is to have your foot going like that. So we have ba, 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 and those are all the downstrokes. Level 1, test yourself, right? Those are all the downstrokes, right? So we go down, down, down with the foot. So it's the downstroke and the foot. That's easy. You know, almost everyone can do this without no coordination trouble. Down, foot, down. But then the subdivisions, we divide that space in between those with our upstrokes. So instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, then I have my upstrokes as well. I'm not playing those yet. So I go and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and right. See if you can do those. Down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, up, 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 up. It should be effortless, right? So take it down a notch. Go all the way slow and go foot, 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 up, foot, up, foot, up, foot. It's very often much easier to do the downstrokes as well. So we go down, up, down, up, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down. And now only do the upstrokes. Down, 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 right? Or up, down, up, down, right? So, because with that's the first kind of system. We're strumming all the strings, right? Just all the way down and all the way up. And then now we can create some rhythm because I can go 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? And the song begins, right? So that's level 1, and you must be able to hit all those subdivisions also when you speed it up. So go 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? And what I'm basically doing, what's hard or what's challenging is leaving some of these strokes out. That's really the challenge. And at this level, I can improvise, right? Because I don't need to know a strumming pattern. If I have a song like foot, 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 right? I can improvise my pattern. So somebody could start singing, I know, I guess, alright. So every time you know that there's a break in between the singing, I can do a little bit of a variation when I'm strumming because I got it under control. And I got, the dynamics of it I can control. But the dynamics and what strings I'm hitting, which is another thing we get to, I can't control that. I cannot even think about that as long as I don't control the rhythm. And controlling the rhythm is being able to go down, down, foot, 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 and then on all the downstrokes, right? I hope that makes sense. And I hope you're with at this level. And if you're not, if you can feel any kind of uncertainty at this level, then simply take it down. And right now, we don't have to play any strumming patterns at this point. We can start improvising right away, right? You don't have to go through right? You can simply start improvising right away by going. What I'm doing here basically is my pick is just going slightly. This pick here, I'm holding it lightly, and sometimes I'm even just strumming with my index finger as I'm holding the pick. So this is my index finger only. I'm not strumming with my pick, and that gives me kind of that background. I can involve the pick just a little bit, right? And you have to experiment with that. See how I'm holding the pick? Let me see if I can get my black t-shirt. See, that's how close it is to my index finger. Just looking out there, right? If I want to play loud, I want it out here, so it's all pick. But in here, I can kind of play with my index fingertip and my thumb a little bit, and then I can get that kind of. Right? So if you can get that running as you go, right, then you're onto something, and you can start improvising and just doing random stuff. If you can keep that rhythm going, and the upstrokes are easy for you, then you can start improvising already, experimenting with it. And that's all that improvising is just playing around with it, experimenting like kids do with no further thought. They just go ahead and do it. We adults, not so often, because we have to get it right. What's the right thing to do, right? But practice the upstrokes there. In this course, I have taken, after 40 years of experience, the 1 or 2 exercises per technique, which is sweep picking, legato, alternate picking, economy picking, or directional picking, that will mean more to your development than any other single thing that you can do. And so the next level, what is that? Level number 2, deciphering. Well, this is so simple, it's a joke. Instead of tapping your foot on 1, 2, 3, 4, which is the easiest level, then you tap on 1 and 3. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the cool thing is that, if you play really fast, you can't tap your foot, fast enough. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, it's not possible. So you have to shift at some point to 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? But you still do the same thing here. See, this is like, what is this, Claus? This has nothing to do with strumming. Yes, it has. Because the reason why you hear somebody strum and it sounds really professional, really together and really musical is because they got that rhythm under control. Also, when you're practicing this, your soloing skills improves because it's all the same thing. Whether you're picking one string or you're picking all the strings, it's that same fundamental thing that some people know even though they don't play music. In some cultures, right? That people are very good at that because they dance, they do all kinds of stuff that we don't do in most Western countries. So what we do here is we go, so we came from 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we want to go 1, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Tap, tap. See, this creates twice as many strum beats or strummings than before per tap. Basically, we're doing the same thing. We're only tapping half as many times, right, with our foot. But I go 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? 1, 2. Can you hear my foot? Right? Right? And that creates a completely different feeling in the body, and now you start trying to focus on the upstrokes. Right? And of course you want to take this all the way down, but if you master the first level of going down, up, foot up, foot up, foot up, and you speed that up to the point where you cannot move your foot any. Right? Right? And you try to get that ghosting with the tip of your index finger, get that nice there. Right? Then the next level is easy, which is the cool thing about this system. That you play the first thing with taps on it, that's pretty easy. You can do that, right? You can do this. That's pretty easy. Foot, down, down, down. Okay, now focus on the upstroke. Right? We can do that. We can do that now, right? And then we can go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. You can actually come from foot, 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 foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Right? So you can go from easy to just a little bit harder. Right? And then you can speed that up. And now you can go really fast because you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, foot, foot, 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't want to play that fast, Claus. That doesn't sound right. But once you know both, and this is simple stuff, right? This is math. Is it not even the first grade in school math, right? Subdivisions. It's so simple. It's a joke. But if I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, and I can then speed up the strumming patterns in relation to my foot, then I got power. I can do this. Right? That is that's a speed up, right? It's a twice the speed. right? Or you can go. That's actually what we're doing when we do that. We just fake it instead of going. Right? See, now you already have immense power. So we can take this simple, and we're not done yet, of course, right? Because we got more cool subdivisions that we can add to this, and the complexity rises, and it becomes this building, like a set of Lego blocks that you can combine. But it's very simple at the bottom of it. And then what we do on top of that is that we start to control our strumming, as I talked about, with the finger and the pick, so we get that instead of just going. Right, we can suddenly go. It's a delicate strumming, right? We really control the dynamics. That's one thing. And then we start doing something to the chords over here. We can start picking different parts of the 6 strings here, right? So we can go. I can not strum also, right? Right here, I've just been strumming constantly, but I can leave out some strumming. Right, double the tempo and pick different or strum different parts of the 6 string. I can pick individual strings. Right? And all that constitutes the strumming system, you could say, right? But with these 2 exercises, and please do them, down, 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 control the upstrokes, come up with different strumming patterns, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, down, down, up, right? And then you double the speed by going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. You see the strumming right there? That's the strumming, 1 and 2 and 3 and, before it said 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and foot, you go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Right? And there are simple exercises you can do every day to master the fundamentals. This is the fundamentals. Then these are your Lego blocks that you can then build with. And just these 2 constitutes an enormous amount of variety if you use it right, along with the little variations we could do up here. So, and don't go, oh, it's just simple, Claus. Yes, it is simple. That's what music is at this level, right? And then when we put layer upon layer upon layer, it becomes more and more complex. But make sure that you not only know how to do this, but that you master it. And what does that mean? That means you're not even thinking about it. It's just a natural part of your body. And if these 2 things are not at the level of just, it's like water, Claus. I don't even, it's invisible to me. It's easy, right? I'm not even trying and I still can do it at the highest level. That's mastery. And until you're there with this, all these little details, it's going to elude you. The cool thing is that it doesn't take very long to get very far with this. If you just grind it every single day. Foot, 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 and foot, foot. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Foot, foot, foot. It's basically just a downstroke with a foot, then a downstroke alone, and then a downstroke with a foot. That's it. Foot, foot, right? And once you're done, studying that, you start involving the upstroke. Right? So, see you in the next lesson here. I hope, so see you around.